And I will always
love you. Psych, no, I'm kidding. I didn't see you there. Whoops.
Will always love
That's the cold open, guys.
Yes.
I mean, that's the
book
cold.
us. Book us.
Book us for your next boy bands.
What's our boy band name?
Boys Never Two Men. I don't know.
I fuck with that.
Boys never to men. Alright guys, what were we talking about? What were we talking about?
Alright, actually, let's go back to that first question you were saying.
The origin.
The origin.
Origin story.
Alright, would you like to repeat yourself?
You haven't told. Oh, let's
origin story. Can you react to the question, and then after you react to the question, answer it again?
This is my origin story. Okay. So, how did you guys start making music?
You wanna go?
It's actually trauma.
I'll go first.
You went already.
True. Oh yeah, are you gonna wait?
No, I'm just saying him. He just said it right now. He just told me.
Trauma. Yes.
He's like, they spilled the beans already.
So
you
wait.
mean the spaghetti?
Because I'm Italian, right?
Because
I'm Italian.
That wasn't why. I just have like
No, I'm kidding.
fall out.
I like pasta.
Not racist.
It's pasta-ist,
You know, my aunt calls it spaghetti. She's like, you want some spaghetti? I'm like,
Yo, the origin story is spaghetti. No, I'm kidding. But go ahead. Origin.
Guys, I made like peanut butter cups from scratch.
Can I try some?
Yeah.
This guy.
You can't try it, right?
It's not that I can't.
You can?
Or, oh my goodness, I'm gonna take a bite.
This guy.
You know, I'll give you a little piece because I know.
Give me Why don't you? Yeah, you know what? We gotta do it for the pod, right?
Do it for the pod. Go for it. Take whichever one you want.
Oh my goodness, this is all right, guys.
Cheers. This is
cheers.
My vegan Snickers cup from scratch.
You're really good.
I heard people like when we chew in the mic.
Wait, what is the mic?
That's why I'm pointing it down.
Sorry. Let me see.
I actually slap anyone in the face that does this all the time. So that
was my peanut butter from scratch, and it's also vegan, all natural, organic. There was no dairy.
I wish you told me it was like 10 calories too.
It's amazing.
It's probably like 9,000 calories, but it was actually really good. It was really good. Not overly I'm not ASMR. Not overly like powerful. It was not powerful, you know, but
nice little balance.
Well, go ahead. All right, we jumped. We went from origin story to Snickers.
Shit, guys, I'm sorry.
To London Bridge. All right, go ahead. Origin. Who's
Should I
going
take the
first?
mic?
You are.
Mic check.
Here's my origin story. So I was eating a homemade vegan peanut butter cup, and then one day,
Crikey.
20-something years ago, crikey, Guitar Hero comes out. So I started getting into music by playing guitar, and I wanted to start playing guitar because I was a little nerd when I was a little kid, still am, but Guitar Hero came out, and I got it for Christmas one year.
Fuck, not again.
Oh, what
Oh
again?
my gosh.
What again, man?
My chewing into the microphone wasn't that good. I don't even know if that's going to make it into the podcast, guys.
Delightful. Delectable.
Does anybody?
Yes, that was my last content drink from Ohio. You should definitely check it out. It's amazing.
Hi-yo.
Oh
That
yeah.
drink is racist.
Hi-yo.
Ayahuasca. What is ayahuasca drink? What is it? Ashwagandha. Whatever.
So, when I was 9, I got my actual first guitar, and ever since then, I just practiced that. I really fell in love with it, and by the time I was like late into high school, I started listening to more and more bands, and I wanted to start trying to write my own songs. So that's how I really got into it, and then just one thing led to another. I started getting into rap. I started well, I was still really into rock music, so I tried to combine both of them. And then the last album that I just made kind of went back to my roots because most of the stuff that I make was like Lil Peep style, emo rap, Nothing Nowhere, if you know any of those guys. But yeah, this last album that I made was kind of like back to my roots because I was in bands and making my own music like throughout the rest of high school. But once I got to that age where I wanted to start writing music, when I was like 16, I was like, this is all I really want to do. So that's why I'm still doing it, why I'm still here, doing this thing. And still here in general because trauma, big inspiration.
Of course, it's the biggest inspiration of a lifetime, actually.
Yeah.
I like it.
What about you, mister? How'd
Me.
you get?
Alright, so, you know.
Dun dun dun.
So, DJing and production, I guess, first really started off, honestly, with just, cheers on that one, honestly. Let me start with that one here. With the cheers, with the nootropics and this. So, honestly, it was so I'm Italian, and one of the big things in Italy for any sort of event, not in Italy, but just being Italian, of course in Italy, but it happens here, is just having a dinner dance party for anything. You know, not just a Sweet 16, like for any type of like a saint day of this or that. So we always used to have these dinner dances, and kind of people that I would know would do the DJing and stuff like that. And the one thing that honestly really got me was the lights. So every time that these guys had lights and stuff, I would be a little kid just staring, just looking at all these lights, to the point where I would go home and I would like, back then, like we had like the mega blocks, like when I was little, so they were like little like Legos, but just like big, you know, and I would like
chunky
build
Legos,
chunky Legos, yeah, thick,
Three
you know,
C's.
yeah, exactly, 3 C's, yeah, and I would literally build a DJ set like at the home, and I would like any sort of little like LED light, like this would have been a light. This right here was a light, you know, and I would like make all the stuff, little disco balls and whatnot, and like that was just my thing. Lights. By Mr. Martin. What we got? Give me the origin.
What about you, Monty? What got you into music?
The trauma. You know?
That's it?
The trauma.
Not for
Trauma
your
of
mama.
what?
The trauma for your mama and for your grandmama.
No trauma
With
for mama.
with 3 C's.
3 C's.
Grandma thick.
No, but what really? No trauma
With
for mama.
3 C's.
3 C's.
Grandma thick.
No, but what really?
She thick with a Q.
Thick what?
Yeah, but honestly, what got me into music and everything, I would say definitely the trauma, but just knowing how you can experience a lot of different things growing up, like mentally, physically, emotionally, and feeling so alone all the time, like you're not human, like you're not normal, you know? Like when I was younger, I got like SA, you know, and it kind of like shifted my brain. It kind of made me feel like nothing sometimes, you know? And I could be so good one day, then the next day it's so down. It's like the highs, the lows. And sometimes it's really hard to like express emotions and feelings just within myself, not with other people, which is pretty strange because I'm pretty straightforward with a lot of things. But yeah, it made me feel like I didn't really have anyone or felt really alone. So when I got into, you know, Nobody Cares Monty, it's like the irony. Nobody cares, but like everybody got something to say, so you do care. But yeah, it just came to a point where I'm like, if I felt this way, other people probably feel this way. So I'm gonna express myself, not just for them, but for myself, and resonate with other people. And I got to have a platform now and really express myself and also share my story with other people and having a lot of people share their story. So it's just like the trauma, I turned it into like, you know, I just spoke on it. Spoke like partially my story because it impacts.
Gotcha.
So I would definitely say the trauma, but just knowing you can overcome the trauma.
I think your phone just died.
Definitely just died.
Man.
Right on, literally.
Right on cue.
You finishing that portion there.
That horror movie where she was a nun? I don't remember the name of it. Is that the one?
Oh, it's gonna be sick. No, it actually just came out like 6 months ago.
I think I seen
It was so good.
I seen something on it, but I probably seen the commercial. on YouTube, and I skipped it. You know, as soon as I see it say skip,
It was so
I
good.
hit
Oh,
it.
just go in.
Don't skip this ad though.
All right.
There's your mid-roll.
I'm dead.
Jumped in that.
Do you ever just feel like nobody cares?
Sometimes.
Um,
Most of the time. Sometimes that's comforting though.
yeah, sometimes you do.
When you feel like nobody cares, like what goes through your mind? Like what makes you feel like nobody cares?
I'll be honest, I never feel, I think I can't feel, I can't say that, and I guess I could be blessed, I can't say that I feel that nobody cares, but I could definitely get into the chicks don't really care about you, in a sense, you know what I'm saying? Like, that, I mean, that could spiral into a whole nother podcast, but, hey girls, just kidding, I like them all, they're all awesome, Sydney Sweeney, hit me up.
If you're Sydney, I love you.
Yeah, if your name's Sydney, last name Sweeney, hello, how you doing? Nah, you know, it's just, I mean, that could get, but I've gotten into a place where at the moment with that aspect, because I mean, you know, everything is, I mean, like I tell you, I don't play video games, I don't do that, because I'm like, I could be playing, or I could be making music, or making content and stuff like that, and honestly, just lately, you know, no disrespect or anything, and people might have other opinions, but just women at the moment have not been, I guess, how could I nicely put this? It hasn't been interesting enough, and it hasn't felt like it's worth the time, the money to pursue, because it's just...
It's an investment.
It's an investment, and I don't think at the moment, you know, controversial take, these chicks really think of it as that. It's just too much, and it's not their fault. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I think it's just the fault of social media. It's the fault of just the type of, you know, maybe
music
lifestyles. Definitely the music is something that plays a part into it 100%. All these, you know, shake my and all the things, like, I just want to do this.
Him and his best friend.
Bleep this guy, bleep that guy. But yeah, that's just like the whole I don't need no man, this and that type of thing. And it just, you know, the it just got, just at the point, I mean, whatever, I'm not here to talk about that, I'm just here to say that's kind of why I'm more focused into, and why I would kind of feel like, yeah, you know what, maybe chicks don't really care as much, but at the same time, I've gotten to a point where I'm like, you know what, I don't know if I really care about that as much, and it doesn't matter, and honestly, now that I think of it, you know, when you do the glass half full, half empty take on it, you're like, well, I don't have that person, but also you don't have all the annoying problems that you probably, like, if I don't know if you guys are in a relationship, but if you are, but if not, you probably have a friend that's in it, and, you know, they're every now and then like, oh, this or this girl said that or that, you know, I mean, ultimately it's, you want to find your other half, you know what I'm saying, and I wish and hope that I always do, but at the moment right now, it's just, no one's called to attention and stuff like that, so I'm like, you know what, more attention and more focus to what's gonna get you
to yourself.
I feel like everyone thinks they need like another half, their other half, and it's like when you're constantly searching for it. Not saying you won't find it, but once you are secure with yourself, your emotions, what you're doing for work, things that benefit your lifestyle, I feel like then it's easier to find a partner because you're already okay with yourself. And I feel like, especially if you're someone with a kind heart that let people like take advantage, or you just so happen to just be with the same people, like you gravitate towards the same like broken or damaged or hurt people, which, you know, it's okay, but it's like if we're conversing and expressing these things, and if you can like actually say what your flaws are, what you need to work on, we can work through it. But when you act oblivious to situations that you should be aware of, that's where the problem comes. Because it's like, if you can't acknowledge what you're doing or how you're hurting me, how can we move forward in this relationship? Whether it's romantic, whether it's friends, whether it's family, you know? Because I'm sick of hearing like, oh, but we've been together for years. Like, oh, I know them for 10 years. Like, it doesn't matter. I didn't ask how long you knew them. I asked, how are they treating you? Are they giving you love, care? Are they checking up on you? Are they making sure you're okay? Right. You know, people always put time when they think about cutting someone off or ending something. Time means nothing. I can meet someone in a week to have better intentions than someone I knew for 2-3 years, you know?
I think the time thing more is like, is you just being, like, it's the complacency, it's just knowing everything and kind of being in that and being used to it, and that's also a thing. It's like, oh, but I spent all this time. and I did all this and I put so much work into it. So maybe you don't want to just like run away from whatever you did, because I feel like that, yeah, with honestly everything and anything. But yeah, that's a good point. Super point on that. Honestly, was gonna say something. We were just talking, and what you said reminded me of something. But my mind works like crazy, and it bounces off into 13 different ways in my head as we're talking. And I'm like, well, that's a good point. That's a good point. So. I'm not the best podcaster, but anyway.
ADHD.
Yeah, it goes all over.
I could riff on what we were just talking about for a second, because I just got out of a relationship like 6 or so months ago.
Okay.
That was like my longest relationship ever. Women are mean. No. But
Men are mean too.
No, everybody's like an asshole, but they're not.
They didn't mean it like that, ladies.
Yeah.
Everyone's mean.
No, my ex.
But you're evil. No.
My ex was mean. But anywho.
If you're watching this, you're mean.
She's not watching this. But
She'll
it doesn't
watch
matter. It doesn't matter.
She'll see it one day.
Look, so how all of that tied into each other, like initially you were saying, how do you feel that nobody cares? And then that kind of trickled into you feel like you have people who care about you, and then you just don't think that women really care about like you or men in general. So I find some kind of comfort in that weird that nobody cares. There's 50% of me who's like, man, nobody cares. If I die tomorrow, like, I'm not going to make an impact. I haven't done enough. I haven't done this, that, and the third, and it's just going to spiral into something terrible. But then there's another part of me that is like super anxious and overthinks all the time. And then when I remind myself 99% of these people don't care or even like notice me, it kind of frees me up to kind of be myself, do my own thing, feel more comfortable in my skin. That even if somebody does care or they do notice you doing something weird or like tripping over yourself because you're clumsy or something embarrassing, or if you go up to a girl and they reject you, or if somebody cheats on you, like in the end of the day, there's like a little bit of pain there in realizing that nothing's really that big of a deal and nothing really matters, but then there's a little bit of relief there too, you know what I mean?
That I don't care attitude.
Yeah, so I've been really trying to work on that because like I just mentioned, I have like super anxious, self-conscious kind of mind because of like how I was raised and stuff that's happened to me just over time, but like reminding myself that nothing's really that big of a deal. Maybe not that nobody cares, but like that nothing's really that serious or that big of a deal unless you give it energy. That's been like a point of solace to me.
Can I and 100% agree with all that, but same thing, can I left turn this, and since we're both on music and all that, do you guys ever feel, because this is something that I definitely do, forget the women and all that, but do you ever sit there and be like, yo, what I'm making is not good?
Yeah. There's sometimes where I think in like the film industry it's called killing your babies, which is a pretty brutal term, but it's like
clip it.
Yeah, you're done.
Canceled. Nah, but it's like when you work on, let's say you have like a movie or like you're making a YouTube video that's an hour long, like cutting half of it or like 15 minutes out of it because like it doesn't serve the video, it like fucks with the flow, and like I have to do that a lot with myself. I always try and like, I think the best songs are all killer, no filler. So it's like being able to trim yourself down or know when to kind of like, hey, this idea or whatever.
Yeah, that's an album right there.
It's not working.
Killer, no filler. I like that.
All killer, no filler, baby.
That's an album. What's up?
Yeah, just kind of knowing when to just stop working on something or put it down and leave it or come back to it at another time or just to give up on it. There's nothing wrong with that in the end of the day. But like when it does happen and you're like trying to make it happen and you're like, man, this
you
shit
go back to
sucks.
a song too.
Yeah, like you can always go back to it and everything. But yeah, I experience that every day when I try and create something. Usually the first few things I'm like, this sucks. I'm going to come back to it later, or let me just start something new.
Right. That actually reminds me of the song I have out now, like Delete You. I actually wrote that song about 2 years ago. So before the release. But it was like I took the first part of a song I made 2 years ago, and then a part that I took from a different song that I made a few months ago prior to the release.
So you were talking to me about this.
Then I just combined them into one song, and I'm like, wait a minute.
That's fire.
This is actually pretty sick, but it was like, I feel like if I didn't merge them together, it wouldn't have been like the hit that it is now within myself, you know?
Nice.
Because that's why, like, to piggyback off what you said, sometimes as an artist, whether it's music, art, acting, a craft, that video that you kept in your closet for like 3 years, you never posted it. That song that you have but don't want to post it. Like, my message to you is sit on it until you're ready, but like have the intent to drop it. Because I feel like a lot of creators and people that want to be in the industry or just put themselves out there, once you drop your first video, whatever it is, acting, singing, writing, that's like a piece of you you're putting into the world. I don't care if it gets 10 views, 100 views, 1,000 views, 10,000, 50,000. That's you, and that's something to work off of. That's your first footprint.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
For real.
And a lot of people, like, you know, they hold magic for so long. I have people show me songs that are great, but they're just not ready.
I tell that to my friends all the time. They're always showing me stuff, and I'm like, yo, you just gotta. Yeah, I'm like, yo, like you just gotta post it. I mean, and touching back from what you said, I mean, I've had just honestly, literally the last week or so, I just went through all my tracks and like looked at what was either older, what I was sitting on. Right. Maybe sometimes I'll even like grab it and upload it and be like, you know what, this style or this genre isn't as popular anymore. I've sat on this for a little bit. Let me use it as a template. Maybe speed it up, add some different elements, and make it this style, you know, and just revamp it. So I have a skeleton, you know, and I'll just redo it. Just kind of how you said, you added to it with newer stuff,
right? And
it made it better.
And it's funny how it clicked. Like, I was never like, oh, I made this. It's like, I made that new song, and I was going to the studio to Stuart Starboy. Shout out to Stuart. Stuart, you're great. Stewie.
I don't know you, but I think you're awesome.
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
But it was like, once I dropped that part, I just knew. Like, I was in the studio, I recorded the first part, I just knew. Like, wait a minute. And I just sang it with this. Like, I just knew, you know? You add 2 songs and you just make it into one sometimes,
right,
you know?
The same thing as ours. I have a few songs, honestly, that one song that came out, which I do a lot of stuff, as we were talking a little off air prior, that I take a lot of like vocals and I acapella them, right. And then we put them in AI, so we have somebody re-sing it as a cover, in a sense, and then we just re-upload it that way. And honestly, that's how I've been doing most of mine. And one of them came to fruition because I made a track, and I was like, I made it with the intent of having a vocalist on it, but let's be honest, when you're a nobody and you try to, like, it's so hard to try to get, like, especially like a female vocalist that is into EDM, that wants to pursue EDM, you know, I'm not going to Bertha Boy or Woodbridge and going to find that, you know what I'm saying? That's right. Overseas, all that stuff, so whatever. So I'm like, I made it with the intent of it, but then as I'm like, I want to play the song, when I play it out, well, let me just add something to it. And then, I mean, you guys probably know the track, really old track, What Do You Want From Me? Hey, slow it down, by Adam Lambert. And I was like, yo, and I just like, and it literally, like, as I clicked, it was almost as if, like, I made that song with the intent of knowing I was going to put it. But it wasn't until, like, later, me thinking, after I had it done, like, and then, as you said, you don't even realize that it's just, like, one and done. You're like, no, that's it. That's perfect. And then I ended up getting it actually signed to a label. Shout out Brain Jack. Actually, really good label. Damon Sharp is the label head, and he gets played. He does the EDC Las Vegas. He does a lot of stuff.
So I know him.
Big dude. Damon Sharp? Yeah. Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, so he's cool. You know, he's probably out in LA. Honestly, if you know any of him. If you're not, whoops, sorry, but I think so. Yeah, East Coast. Pretty sure East Coast.
West Coast.
Whatever. I'm from the East Coast. Guys, whatever. Geography isn't my main thing.
Yeah, we're musicians.
That's why I'm music, yes.
Alright, we're musicians. We're not smart.
Yeah. Tell me where the mixer is.
We're talented. We're soulful.
And mine's Center Coast.
Handsome.
Anyways, we're on the West Coast now, right? So, just kidding.
We're on the... Oh, okay. I was like...
I gotta make it seem like I was doing it the whole time.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Nobody cares, right?
Nobody cares. Yeah, but, like, sometimes, like, I'll go through, like, some music, you know, songs I put out. I'm like, okay. And then, like, you ever, like, go back later on and listen, like, wait a minute. Why was this just sitting in the vault? Like, this is fire.
Or people will tell you, yo, that's fire. And you're like, you think so?
I'm like, really? You sure? This song right here.
This one.
Hater's Blood. Hater's Blood.
Oh, that's the track?
Hater's Blood.
Oh, look at, he's got a cup for the song.
Hater's Blah, yeah.
If I had a cup for every song I put out, I'd have like a fucking a whole damn bar of mugs.
The bar's over there.
I know, it's crazy. I did want to just a thing before we cut. I know you brought your guitar, and I'm not waiting until yesterday to hear this. I want to hear some stuff. Let's
Because his name's Yesterday.
yeah, it's a little fun, bunny
Knee slapper.
We're here today. We should end it with a track. We should end it with an original.
We should just make original. Oh, okay.
Let's hear an original.
Oh, from me?
Yeah.
No, I sing with auto-tune. I will jam, though. We can make something
Yeah,
weird.
no, all right, no, I want to
I'll
hear
sing.
your guitar.
I'll sing. Right back. Grab the guitar.
I'm gonna not do anything. I'm gonna add ad-libs, guys.
Let me make sure my phone ain't died.
Let's see. Good?
No, it died.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're spot on 9:30.
Word. Just get the last one here. On a song. Yeah, because I mean, you don't need.
You want me to modify it?
Tell me it's okay, baby, it's the way when I go, and I'm going crazy.
I could do something a little bit more like... Hold up, play it real quick.
And I just want to shout out my boy in Canada because he's gonna hop on this. He's an Italian rapper.
Hell yeah.
So
You're gonna play that on your phone?
that's what I'm saying. It would be cooler if you
do like a lead.
Yeah.
Oh, if you did like that.
No, if I
okay.
play this, you hear this. Like, dude, yeah, this is great. Yep. I wish I could do that. But I don't do it in my head. Those are your you said you're like the guys that started you too, Lil Peep and
Yeah, like in that era, I wasn't listening to them when they were really coming up, but I started making that same kind of music, like around towards the end of his life, like that last year that he was alive and like really starting to pop off and do tours. I started making similar kind of music, and I found a scene on SoundCloud of people who were making that kind of music too.
Nice.
So that's how I started getting a little bit of, traction, and just, I was doing that for a while. That was just who I was for a minute. But I mean, the past few years, they've just been so rough since COVID and everything. So that's why I wanted to kind of bring things back to basics for me, at least, and kind of go back into making full band kind of rock music for a little bit.
Nice.
But I want to kind of jump around and do like whatever now.
Are you one-man banding it?
I had to, yeah. It started off, I was doing it with my buddies who I used to be in a band with, but just because life and they aren't fully throwing themselves into music like I have been, they just didn't really have the time to follow through with those kind of commitments and everything. So I ended up having a...
They didn't make the time either.
They didn't make the time, yes, it is what it is. To understand.
Be what it be.
It be what it be.
Your heart's gotta be in it. Your heart's gotta be in it, definitely.
Yeah, so I just
like
one-man banded it. I mixed it all myself. I did the cover art myself, everything myself. I'm super duper proud of it. It's just, I want to... It took me 4 years to make that album, so it's out now, and I want to kind of go back to being a little bit more free and just doing whatever kind of resonates with me. And then if it starts resonating with people too,
there you go.
that's all we want, really, right?
Nice, 100%.
Being ourselves and it resonating with people.
What got me was the lights. So every time that these guys had lights and stuff, I would be a little kid just staring, just looking at all these lights, to the point where I would go home and I would back then we had the Mega Blocks when I was little, so they were little like Legos but just big, and I would
chunky
build
Legos,
chunky Legos, yeah, thick.
3 C's.
Yeah, exactly, 3 C's. And I would literally build a DJ set at the home, and I would any sort of little LED light this would have been a light. This right here was a light, and I would make all the stuff, little disco balls and whatnot, and that was just my thing. And then going into high school, just from that, that kind of led me into the music, liking music because of that. Just watching lights and DJing and this and that. I was like, that's cool. Just kind of got me into it, and then cut to 2010 in high school last year. Some kid that I knew was making hip hop beats, and I always used to be drumming on the desk and doing this and that. And he's like, "Oh, you want to I'll give you a cracked version of FL Studio, And FL Studio's been everyone always asks me what DAW do you use, and can't move out of that because that's literally just, it's like, you know, you learn the language and you don't want to learn anything else. Your workflow is good, everything's there, and that's just what I do. So now I make music, I produce EDM, I DJ as well, and that's how it got me the lights. It wouldn't like...
Wow, this is so cool.
I was sweating. Mustard! Scrotum?